Welcome aboard. After years cruising the North Pacific, we are embarking on a journey south to warmer waters. This is our story day by day as we explore Mexico's beautiful Baja coast. Come along and experience daily cruising life as we do. Good morning.
Good morning. At Saturday morning, 7 a.m., sun is starting to come up. Time for the anchor to come up and head finally out from Bahia Tortuga. Thank you all for having the patience to wait us out as we waited for all that wind to blow by, but it's gone now. The forecast looks outstanding. So the anchor should be extremely well set. So
we'll see how
we'll spend a little time getting it up off the bottom, but let's get cruising.
Jim's pulled the bridle up.
Getting it done. We'll show this.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let's say we'll show this detailed anchoring and pulling the anchor up in future videos. But we can't do everything the first time, so we'll get there.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you the bay. Look how beautiful it is and how nice and calm it is this morning. Looking forward to a great cruise today. Bringing the anchor up. We've got about 50 feet out still of the anchor. We have 21 feet of water, so we're getting close to getting to the actual anchor. As we go along, Jim lets me know what he needs. Oh, it's pulling right now. What he needs as far as getting the boat over the anchor. We always drive over it. We never let the chain pull it. So I think that was just getting the anchor up. Did you hear that? Very well set. And we have an anchor. So let's go. Okay, I'm going to put you guys down. Gotta drive. Jim's washing down the anchor. We just have a hose that we use to get mud and debris off of it. He said it was well set in mud, so the anchor has a bunch of mud on it. So good to know. We were going nowhere. And actually, as sailors left yesterday, most of them were doing overnight passages. So they left kind of in the middle of the day. Everybody was complimenting the fleet on staying put during that wind yesterday, which was actually pretty sweet.
7:30 and we are on the move. There's the sunrise off to the port side. Cruising right along. Leaving the, still in the bay actually, Bahia Tortuga. Headed out. Anticipated arrival about 4:30 at our anchorage. As we leave Bahia Tortuga, several people have asked why we are planning to do these 4 one-day hops to Magdalena Bay instead of just a straight 40 or so hour cruise over a couple of nights. And the reason is twofold. One, our next reservation or deadline or place to be is not till June 1st. So I think we're not in a hurry, one. But even more importantly, the whole idea to us of cruising is that you get to see the environment you're cruising in. Here we're going down the Baja coast. And if we cruise where it's 12 hours a day, it's dark, you're missing the view out the window. So you're getting somewhere, but to me you're kind of missing the point. So thus the 4-day hop, so we can enjoy the view. We've actually plotted our course to stay just a few miles offshore, so we can hopefully see well the shoreline as we go. And we'll do our best to share it with you at the same time. There's that beautiful sun this morning. Fantastic.
One of the things we have to manage is garbage, and one of the worst things to put in garbage is food waste, because that just creates quite the odor. So we're really careful about what we put in our garbage bags, and then food waste we have a separate container for on the counter that is kind of like a composty kind of bin, and this is what I put all food waste in.
I think it has like a carbon filter on top, right?
It does. It has a filter in it, and I just use a have it stuck to the counter so it doesn't go anywhere. And I just keep a bag in it. Ugh, and this is full because we've spent so much time in the anchorage, and you know, it's got pineapple debris and stuff. I chop stuff up really small so that it's not too big and it doesn't take as long to decompose. But this goes overboard.
Food
Overboard.
Well, as we head southbound this morning after those stormy, windy days, look at these water conditions. Pretty sweet. You know, this is the benefit of being patient and waiting for the right conditions that make us comfortable. Sea Venture doesn't really care. She's fine in any of it. If you're interested in seeing her in a little more sporty weather, you can go watch the video where we're off Cape Mendocino, 8-foot seas on 8 seconds. And the boat was perfectly fine, but boy, this sure is enjoyable. What we do, I wanted to show you why we're cruising. There's a lot of reflection though, so maybe I'll have to show it later.
There's our fish in the water.
All right, we're going to call this the fishing chair now. I'm going to relax back here. We're going to throw a line back. We're kind of jury rigging up some salmon here. And maybe down, you know, Cabo or La Paz we'll have to, you know, get a little more serious about the right gear. So I'm going to throw a line out and we'll see what happens.
Jim claims he's back here fishing, but
Yeah.
I really just see him fooling around on his phone. Is that right?
I'm responding to YouTube comments.
All right.
So look at this. The Sir Uno from, this is 16 minutes ago, responded to yesterday's video with FYI, the yellow boat landing thingy is a Lark 5, lighter amphibious resupply cargo 5-ton vessel. They're initially built for the U.S. Navy and Army back in the 60s. There are dozens of them still in use around all over the world for different sorts of purposes. They look cool, but honestly, they're scary as hell. I've had a couple sink beneath my feet and rescued a couple sinking crews off them back in my Navy days. So we learned something about that little funky amphibious thing. Thank you very much for letting us know. Awesome. Yes, otherwise I'm very busy fishing. We don't have any pole holders back here because for salmon, we use downriggers that I made custom clamps for down on the swim step. But so I've just got my pole with a little bungee here, dragging the lure right out below the surface, enjoying my coffee and answering YouTube comments.
While Jim's back there hanging out with his fishing pole and his phone, we're up here keeping an eye on where we're going, looking at the beautiful scenery. And I have 2 cats for company. One is eyeing my chair. Nope. And the other one I think is just keeping his head out of the sun. Neither of them were super excited about leaving this morning, but they'll get over it. There's some spouts ahead. Having a hard time capturing these guys. I have no idea if I got that. But that was a beautiful tail, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Look at that.
I cannot see the screen. This is killing me.
Watching the whale. They're close to the same course we are, going a little slower. They're angled towards shore.
I'm putting together a little lunch. We're having some leftover chili that we made the other night. And some chips to go with it. And Jim is captaining the boat. Doesn't he look like he's captaining the boat? Sitting on the bow. It's quite lovely out there. So we're going to have lunch on the bow. Let's spy. Jim's doing a video chat with his grandson Benjamin. Such fun. Bye-bye, Benjamin. Bye-bye, buddy.
Up here in the bow, cruising in the calm. Pulled up a couple chairs.
All right,
Rosie's
bye-bye.
FaceTiming with our grandson, having some chicken chili for lunch, and of course I have our remote control for the autopilot up here, so we can steer and everything up here from the bow. But just relaxing, rejoicing in the success of our patients at Bahia Tortuga. This is the payoff.
I think we could both get pretty used to this bow cruising.
Well, you were just relaxing. I'm up here carefully monitoring all ship systems
Sure.
as the captain, while half asleep in the sun.
No, it's pretty lovely, isn't it? Look at this shoreline.
Sat up here for 2 hours and haven't done anything.
I know, it's been pretty sweet.
Real quick, hopefully without as much glare. This is the dual navigation in time zero. It's the exact same thing. Here's Sea Venture, here's Sea Venture. This is zoomed out, this is zoomed in. Remember on electronic charts, when you zoom out to get it all on one page and not be too busy, it drops off detail like rocks or reefs or something like that. So, and there's been some famous around the world sailing races where boats ran up on reefs from time zero, from this error in time zero. So make sure if you're using time zero that you zoom in, and you can use the dual navigation if you want, but you can make sure that you're aware that when you zoom out, you lose potentially vitally important detail. So when cruising lots of times along the coast, we do the dual view for that purpose. Well, nothing on the fishing pole yet, but it's not like it's a lot of effort to leave out there. We'll probably need to be pulling something besides some jury rig thing. And Barkley's been out here checking it all out and scoping it out, and otherwise just relaxing and looking out the side window, man. Can you ask for anything better? This is ocean travel, man. I think we got a little fish on. I don't think it's worth slowing up for, but
Something was foolish enough to take our bait. We're gonna have to give him his freedom.
it's a tiny skipjack tuna.
Hi, little guy. We're approaching our anchorage for tonight. This is Isla Asuncion, the island out front, and we're going to be around the point at Punta Asuncion, which is right over that way.
Getting ready to round the island. there's the island to head into the anchorage.
We're making our turn around the island.
About 30 minutes out from the anchorage. Got to pay a lot of attention. There's actually quite a few lobster pots scattered all over the place, and so all the way around us actually. So I'm not sure I'd be great about doing this in the dark. I mean, you can, and it's just a, you know, luck, I suppose. Try to use the FLIR camera, but quite a few lobster pots out here. So we just be careful going in.
I'm going to take a stab at trying to capture. There's like a pot there, and a pot there, and a fourth one right up that way. Another one right off the tip of Sea Venture's nose. Another one at like 10 or 11 o'clock. Another one at 10 o'clock. Some more over here. Holy moly, they're everywhere. So just be super careful out here if you're heading this way. Dang. The paravein fish are in. And yes, there's a story.
We went lobster fishing. We caught a lobster pot with a paravein line. And I was watching it. I saw the buoy and I was watching it, and it was a good 20 feet. There was some on both sides, so I was splitting them. A good 20 feet away from, I think, the paravein line. But there must be enough current or the wind throwing the buoy that the line underwater must have been like this, because the buoy was way outside and we caught it. So sorry we didn't get to film the drama a little bit. So we had to come to a stop, back the boat up, rotate it, make sure that line's not getting under the boat at all, pull the paravein in enough, and it flipped off. And then we decided, okay, just pull the paraveins in while we wind through these pots until we're anchored, and then decide then whether to put it back out. So, lesson learned, I'm going to give them more of a free lesson, right? No damage, no problem, no issue, not with the boat, not with the pot, so we don't want to hurt their fishing, their livelihood. So I think we're in a good spot, free lesson. We're going to give those pots even a wider berth than I was. Approaching the anchorage here at Bahia Ascension. After all that dead calm, we've got about 17 knots of wind after we came around the corner here. Maybe just the heat from the land or something, but we're going to come up here to about 30 feet of water and anchor. All anchored up here. Rosie's working on the ship's log. We'll have to show you that sometimes. We have hundreds of pages of it on paper, but now it's a digital format that we, all the information we record every time Sea Venture moves. We've got our anchor alarm all set.
Can you see around me?
That's okay, yeah, looking out the window here. A variety of you have asked for some specific details when we anchor. And so I'll put those on the screen now for you, if you're interested in that information. There you go. Time to relax for a little bit now. Not that it hasn't been a completely relaxing day, but there's always a little sigh of relief once the anchor's on the bottom and secured and engines are off. And
exactly. Exactly.
Another successful day of cruising to hopefully be followed by a successful evening and night.
The town of Asuncion.
Well, here we are anchored in Bahia Ascension. I think is how you pronounce it.
The wind is letting up a little bit, so that's
Yeah.
kind of nice. Settling
Yeah.
out for the night.
We're not going to go ashore. You know, it's been a long day of cruising. We're going to do these cruising days just back to back to back.
Yep.
So this will be a wrap up for tonight, and we'll be up early in the morning, playing for anchor up 7:30, about the same distance to travel tomorrow. We'll try that fishing again. Well, I think the weather still looks good, right?
Yeah. It does. Yep.
I think everything looks good as we continue to move south looking for warmer water. Actually, the Sea of Cortez. We'll get there sooner rather than later, we hope. All right.
Yeah. All right. Have a great night, guys.
Good night.